And now, the Big D and Bubba Weekly Podcast.
Big D and Bubba.
They have a show 5 days a week, but they don't get to say everything that's on their mind. So they have an extra one, and that's how we get the podcast. The podcast. The podcast. Big D and Bubba podcast. The podcast. The podcast. Big D and Bubba podcast.
That's not this week's gold. I just wanted to play him. No. This week's gold is pretty great.
Who is that?
That is your auto detailing guy. The guy who was doing your... Yeah, Big D's got this 70 Chevelle, and he was like, I'm just calling to check on my car. How's my baby doing? Yeah. And the guy was just very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Is that edited that way? A little bit.
It's into one.
The loop.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I tell you about that guy?
No.
So I get to the house. He's still there. He worked on it for
all day.
5 hours.
Wow.
And he did like everything, the engine and everything. So.
Yeah, interior, exterior, 2 coats, wheels, all that kind of thing. And I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? Oh, he's exactly that way. Oh, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, hey. I said, that's looking good, man. Oh, hey. He's like, yeah, you'll know when to hit it. And I was like, yeah. I said, man, you got this thing looking like she's ready to roll onto some sort of a car show. Yeah. You know, it's looking good. No, it looks good, man. Yeah. Have you done muscle cars like this before? No, that means no. Oh, okay. So, but everything went fine. It was good though. Good. It found out great. Thank you. That's basically how the conversation went. And I was like, he did a great job. And then I had to take it back to Stinky Chris's garage.
That's his name now, Stinky Chris?
No, he's not stinky, but it's just it's gravel to get into the garage to the lift, and you got to go through. It's just
right after you had it detailed.
And it's normally fine. I don't have a problem with it, but it's like just spend all this money, have this thing really done. And I told him, I'm like, hey man, can
you be very gentle? It's freshly detailed.
We can get in and out of this? What are you doing? He's like, yeah. So, the latest thing is my air suspension in the back. It's not suspension. I have coil springs.
I was going to say air suspension in a 70 Chevelle.
So they had those, but they rode on regular coils or whatever the suspension is at the time. But then some guys back in the 70s they started putting these airbags that they could inflate. Mm-hmm. So where the back end of the car would kind of have that aggressive stance where it looks like it's the back end's high.
Yes.
Yeah, it's tall. It's kind of that lifted back, just kind of give it a little bit of, not overly done, but just enough to kind of give it a little bite. So it looks great when it's, inflated and it's all look like it's about to pounce. But when it's not, it looks like,
it looks flat. It looks like the back end is down.
Looks like me sitting down in a lawn chair. Or just everything just kind of catches up with you.
Crumples up.
It kind of folds up on you. I can't breathe.
Dude, that's the worst. I was sitting down. So Frankie and I went to a concert the other night, and I was sitting down in the seats, which, by the way, are so skinny.
Oh, they are.
The little arms of the thing.
Even skinny people will tell you that.
I am now skinny, and they still suck.
Well, I was trying to get out, because somebody had to pass. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. So I was sitting for a moment because I'm fat. I can't stand that long. Everybody's standing up. I don't mind. So I'm sitting down, and this guy's coming through. Excuse me. Well, I try to get up. I have my keys in one pocket, my wallet in the other.
Did it all come out?
No, did nothing come out. But when I tried to get up, the little arm bars, they hung up underneath. It was like I was locked in. So I had to go, hold on. I looked so terrible because I had to go and scoot myself forward just so I could get up out of the seat. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And I know everybody around going, dude, don't fit in the seat.
It's like you were locked into a roller coaster with the harness.
It really was.
I was at a restaurant where they have these.
Don't say booth.
Where there's a booth, and the tables are like bolted into the
so you can't
concrete.
Adjust it.
Yep.
And I'm sitting in one long booth. It's like really long, and then they just kind of put tables every once in a while, and they have spaces in between the tables. So Kathy and I are having lunch, and I should have took her seat because it's just an open seat that you can move
on
around.
the outside.
On the outside, right.
Yes.
I sat on the inside. There was no one sitting next to us. And then someone comes and sits right next to us.
Oh.
So now the problem is now I have to get out. But to get out, my butt is going to be right in her face.
You're going to be squeezing in between the tables.
I'm going to have to slide out, do that half turn, quarter turn, and it's going to be right in her face because we're that close. And
if it's not your butt, it's the other side, and you don't want to do that.
No.
So I was just, it ruined my whole lunch.
Did you at least get her name before you put your butt in her face?
So a lot of times, like when that happens, I try and befriend them, to talk to them a little bit beforehand because I know what's going to about to happen.
You got to be friendly.
So I want them to feel like to be excused, like oh well, but I liked him. They don't say anything, but I didn't have time on this one, so I just exposed myself to her and left. That was awful. Jeez. Terrible.
Well, all right,
ma'am. Did you like that?
Is that Cava place? It's one of those places. It's like it's for the. Well, they serve it's like Greek food. That's because you know how Chipotle serves theirs, and they have you go down the line, and they're like, I'll take beans, and I want that. It's kind of like that, but it's with Mediterranean food.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's really it's healthy for you.
I like all the ethnic foods. The new neighborhood I'm moving into is crazy, full of nothing but Indian food and this food and that food and whatever. So I went and I experimented last night, and I went to this place called Indian Street Food. I don't know the actual name of it, but it was some Indian word, and underneath it said Indian Street Food. I'm like, this is going to be awesome, and it was awesome.
Did you have a Ted Lasso curry moment when you did that?
No, I love curry in the anyway, but so I'm like, I did have it hot because they asked temperature, and I'm like, hot, man. So I was eating, and it was fine and fantastic and everything. Then I was up at least once an hour all night with issues.
That's right.
All the way until, I ran late this morning, all the way to this morning. I'm like, oh, God, I'll never do that place again. I don't know if it was because it was hot, or I don't know if it was whatever, because I know it's not Indian food. People always say, don't eat the food when you go to India, don't drink the water, that kind of stuff. The things there are, I've read a lot of stuff because I want to go to India because it's gorgeous. But I've read you don't want the vegetables because they're washed in the same water that is very not good. So eat everything, either if you've, watched it or whatever. I don't know. Either way, I don't know what happened last night, but it was a bad idea. It was a very, very,
Were you
very
sweating
bad
while
idea.
you were eating?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had the eye sweats all right here.
See, because I'll be honest, there was a time I was at a Chinese buffet, and there was a large gentleman that was there, and his plate was heaping big. He had no intention of going back to the buffet.
Mine was
He just
small.
no, but that's not the point. But he had a heaping plate, and he's about 10 minutes into that. I mean, this turned into an excursion. And that guy had a rag, was wiping off his forehead, and it wasn't because of the heat of the food. It was the amount and the effort that this 400-plus pound guy was putting into it. It was a spectator sport. I thought I was watching a game.
Yeah.
And I felt guilty that I was looking at this guy. I
Enjoying
wanted to
it so much.
I wanted to root him on.
Yeah.
I wanted to cheer him on. I'm like, you're going to do it, Tiger. Come on. You'll make it.
Did he get through it?
I left. He had so much food I'd already eaten and left, and he was still
What's
working
y'all's
on
favorite ethnic food?
Well, I'll tell you what I had just in case somebody wants to try it. It was called boiled chemo, Kheemo, and it's shredded boiled eggs cooked with Indian spices and veggies, and it was good. As far as favorite, I'm going to go with Kelaguen from Guam. If you're talking ethnic foods in general, that's the best. It's chemically cooked, meats. They'll do chicken or whatever. It's so amazing. I don't know of any Guamanian restaurants in America other than one in Las Vegas. There's one called Red Rice that I'm dying to go to.
Yeah, it's pretty rare to see a. I mean, you probably there's New York City would have that. Chicago,
I think
and
so.
all those would have
I'd
that.
say Italian food for me, but non-American Italian food because it's just different.
Real Italian.
Yeah, real
Yeah.
Italian.
Yeah, I don't know what the difference is actually.
It's just lighter. It's just with Italian food here, it's just very saucy and it's actually
We also put a
lighter.
lot of sugar
yes
in our sauce in Italian
Yeah,
food.
mhm.
And like regular Italian, they don't put a lot of sugar?
No,
Not nearly as much.
no.
Why is it like Italian food in Italy is so much like healthier than Italian food here?
It's smaller portions to start with. Most of what they serve you is fresh.
I read a book that literally spelled out this guy's dinner. And it was like 7 courses. And they went through this whole thing. And the guy's like, I can't eat and drink anymore, but here comes another round. And they're all like just gushing about how amazing the food is. And that's, I've never been to Italy, so I don't know. But they're all like, the food is so much better. You have no idea. But if it's small portions, is that how they get through so many different courses?
Well, when I went and they served us the different courses, I don't remember them really limiting us, but because there was such an abundance, to me, it's not like going to the Chinese buffet,
Right.
Right? That because it's there, you're not afraid of it running out. So you kind of take what you want and you're done. It's just a different mentality because I believe that's also how the French approach food is that they'll take these lunches that last 3 hours. And you might have like 6 kind of cheese in front of you, but that doesn't mean they necessarily eat it all. We're also very much, I mean, I know I grew up in the clean plate club. So, like, you must eat everything that's on your plate. And I feel like it's a different mentality
in China
over there.
who are starving, and you better clean your plate. I also think it's because our parents were children of Depression era parents.
Yeah.
Like our grandparents all were like in the Great Depression. So, and also the rationing through World War II. And then like, you know, my dad growing up, they were super, super poor. That all they could eat was chicken. Because they raised chickens, and my dad will not touch chicken now.
yeah,
he's
he's
like,
done with it.
I'm never going to eat chicken again in my life. I had to eat it every day. I will never touch it again.
I've never seen my father eat rice. He served in Vietnam, and that's basically what he had for 17 months. I've never seen him eat rice in my entire life.
Wow, that's such a
Won't touch
staple
it.
too.
I don't blame him.
Won't touch it.
What do you do in the Vietnam?
He ran communications. He would establish communications when they would be moving forward, where even install the poles, the communications. He would run gunner on the planes from time to time, would work on Benoit Air Base where he was stationed. So, yeah, he was 17, 18 months in Vietnam in the mid-60s.
Wow.
Yeah.
How old was he then?
Oh, early 20s.
Isn't that crazy? To
Right
think
off
that-
the farm.
Yeah, man. Think these kids that are 18, 19, 20, whatever,
Yeah, right off the farm.
going and doing all this stuff.
Yeah, I was raised by a lot of Vietnam vets. They were all around where
It's
I grew
still
up.
happening though. I mean, you're looking at, we have veterans from several other wars since then who are doing the same thing. They went straight from the farm, as you would say, or from whatever their background was. And
Difference is he was drafted. He wasn't enlisted like so many
True.
have been recently. He was drafted, but yeah.
That's good. All right. Well, this is fun.
Awkward pause time.
Well, it was just like, yeah, I'm just reflecting upon everything because it's crazy. I mean, I was never in the military, so I don't know. I don't know the day-to-day life. What I find interesting is all of my friends who are military talk about how they complained the whole time that they were in, and they would talk about and dream about the day they got out. Oh, wait, just wait. I can't wait till this is done. I'm done with this. Beep, And then they get out and they're like, man, I want to be back.
I
in."
have some that went through the 20 and out and did the retirement. I have some that went through the GI Bill, one who was in the Air Force and then ended up becoming a lawyer in my hometown. So it's very 30 and out, various degrees of people in their commitment when they're, and others who went National Guard and went reserve. So.
Yeah. Okay, what else do we have here? What have we done this week? Anything that so many people. I would like to once again say welcome to the show, Schaefer, Jonathan Schaefer.
Thank you.
So many people loved you guys doing the Divorce and Cheated Venmo challenge, and also great reaction on Super Funny Schaefer.
Yes.
Don't anybody make fun of that. That's how we get this going. What a great way to introduce people to you than with some cheesy puns.
Oh, it's the best. Look, even if the quality of the dad joke is not good, you're still going to laugh at the dad joke. It's just like pizza. There's no such thing as bad pizza. You're still going to have pizza.
I have an issue with calling it a dad joke.
Why?
Because they're puns. They're just silly
Yes,
little.
but a lot of dads, the only jokes they tell are pun jokes, though.
I tell a lot of pun jokes, and I am a dad.
And you're a dad,
And
so
I think
you've
you
just
kinda
made your.
I think you just kind of.
but I did them before I was a dad.
Hmm.
I mean, so why would it be called a dad
Well, the
joke?
potential was there.
But I think it's a good way to market those style of jokes is calling them dad jokes.
Yeah, but they do it with a negative connotation. You know, whenever they market, they go, "Oh, here comes somebody with some dad jokes."
Yeah, but notice that people are still happy to hear dad jokes. They're going to laugh anyway. People
Okay.
enjoy dad jokes,
they say they don't, though.
But they do.
but they do. Like even when we were doing that the other day, Big D didn't laugh at the first two. I knew he was laughing. I knew he was enjoying the segment.
Internally, he was
Internally, yeah. His inner dad was
laughing on the
inside him. That's right.
So we have a couple videos. We should have one or two up. You can go and check out the super funny Schaefer things. They're pretty awesome.
Also, going back, the moviegoer snacks, that on Instagram, that reel, over 2.7 million views of that video of the different snacks that people would eat in different countries when they'd go to a movie.
Well, Garrett did a good job with that one because every time we would mention a snack and, here's what they eat in India, he would put the picture up of whatever it was. And I thought that was really cool because it, we got to like the squid or whatever the thing was, the insects or whatever. I was like, oh, that's cool.
I don't know if you should go to India because I think we alienated all of India and Australia. There were
Yeah.
a lot of people that commented
Australia
that
too?
they were not happy. Not happy at all.
Oh, I didn't see the comments.
I didn't either.
There's like 6,000 comments or
Oh
something
my
crazy.
gosh.
Oh,
What,
even
just
more than
mad
that.
because of what?
Saying that we were misrepresenting them. And it's like, the show's Big D and Bubba. Are you looking for us for accuracy? I mean, you're
what I
getting
say.
the,
Don't
you're getting
come
the
to
show
us.
for free.
Yeah, that's right. Don't come to us for anything knowledgeable.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
But they're
we
like, I've
offended-
never even heard of mutton or whatever.
Well, that's too bad because mutton is fantastic.
Mutton's great.
What is mutton?
Mutton is like lamb.
Sheep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lamb, sheep, something,
Sheep.
something.
Yeah.
Lamb and sheep.
A meat you should try. We should bring that in.
mutton.
What
Because
is mutton?
that's another thing we did this week where we grilled the hamburgers up, which
Oh,
were,
yeah.
by the way, extraordinary.
They were okay.
They were good.
They need more fat to them, but they're okay.
But
they're
they-
very lean, too lean.
They actually tasted kind of sweet. They had a little bit of a sweet taste to them that I wasn't expecting.
By the way, lamb, hogget, and mutton are generically sheep meat and the meat of domestic sheep. And sheep in its first year is a lamb, and its meat is also lamb. Second year becomes a hogget, and then older sheep becomes mutton.
I mean, I would eat mutton at a movie unless it was Silence of the Lambs, and then that's too on the nose. But yeah, well,
I don't even get the reference. I've never seen that movie.
Silence of the Lambs. Mutton is lamb meat. Yeah, cannibalism. Never mind. You're good.
What?
Never forget it. We're moving on.
What is it? No, sir, I've never seen the movie. I don't
What,
get-
Silence of the Lambs?
Never.
Hannibal Lecter?
You haven't
Never. I
seen
know.
that?
Wait a
Dude, y'all know I don't watch
Look,
scary
the joke
movies.
wasn't that good, but I didn't think it was that bad.
It's not that scary of a movie.
No, it's really not.
But
Silence of the
creepy, though,
Lambs?
right? Isn't it like creepy?
as
Yeah, it's creepy.
Yeah.
It's suspenseful. It's
Yes,
not.
yeah.
It's not a horror. Movie.
Isn't there somebody in a hole and they're stuck in a
Yes.
hole
Yeah.
or something?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
Buffalo Bob is his name, or
Yeah,
something
why
like
would
that?
I,
Bill.
why would I
Buffalo
want to
Bill.
get out of that or get into that kind of thing? Man, there's so much, I call it social contagion. I think we're making people ill by making them, the stuff we're watching right now on TikTok influences who we are down the road. I know it's weird, but I believe that.
I do too.
And it's also, there's something about scary movies. I've said this for years. I don't watch scary movies. Carson was talking about she heard a chirp, on her fire alarm, and it made her think Michael Myers was in her house. I don't have those problems.
No, you would just think it's a burglar. I just put a face on the scare because I thought somebody was in my house, and so it was like, oh my gosh, is it Michael Myers? Otherwise, I would have thought it was a real person that was squeaking in my house. It has nothing to do with me watching a scary movie that I hear a weird sound in my house and I'm freaked out. It's not a scary
I
movie
saw-
problem.
Movies have been around as long as cinema has existed.
So I'll tell you one of my weird little scares is, what was the Friday the 13th where Jason had the bag over his head, the like burlap sack? Whatever that one was, he pops up in a window at some
Yeah.
point. You know what I'm talking
I do,
about?
yep.
So I have this weird thing when I'm washing dishes or whatever. There's that window right there in front of the sink, and I'm like, something's gonna pop up in that window, and it's gonna be that Jason thing. And that's because I saw that movie when I
I
was a
can't
little
wait till you
kid.
move into your new house and one of us does it.
He's gonna shoot us.
This
I
is-
know,
this is
right?
gonna happen.
Don't play with Bubba on that. It's not a fun. It's fun for a while.
Like I don't like scary movies either. Yeah, and I kind of laugh at like that. But The Exorcist truly terrified me.
Yeah,
That
was the
one.
thing.
That one
demon
got
stuff.
me. Yeah.
What was
that
the one
got
with
me.
what's his name from Gladiator? He was doing, wasn't it Russell Crowe just did like some exorcism movie?
Maybe.
I don't know. Perhaps.
That's the problem with me too. Like I like the cheesy horror movies, and look, Halloween is a wonderfully, masterfully done suspense film. The subsequent sequels, and then Friday and Nightmare and all that, they're laughably scary, right? It's when you start getting into Saw and Hostel
no.
and the
Are those like demonic or are they just like
no, they're gore.
They're gore.
They're gore
Okay.
for gore's sake. And then you start getting The Conjuring, where even the commercials are scary, where somebody's at a table and then suddenly a face appears.
is that
and
the
I
one
go,
with the nun?
No, but there's a nun.
That one. Oh,
There,
like
well,
the
it might
one with
be a
the
nun. I don't know.
I would watch those commercials and I'm like, if it came on, I'm like, boop. I would turn the channel just because I couldn't handle it.
I always say, like, I like my 80s scary movies
They're
because it's
fun.
basically
They're fun.
Exactly.
Well, they're silly. There's a certain amount of silliness.
And the
to them.
fashion, oh my! I watch those movies and I'm like, I'm sending pictures to my vintage friends. I'm like, who has this T-shirt? I want to buy it now.
And Dawkins did the soundtrack to the Dream Warriors.
Nightmare on Elm
movie.
Street 3.
Yeah, that's it. I knew you knew that.
The
And then
Pope's-
Alice Cooper, Man Behind the Mask. That was a
The
Voorhees.
Pope's Exorcist is the Russell Crowe movie. It's a 2020. I knew it was like recent. It just
Yeah,
came out
okay, yeah,
not too
The
long ago,
Pope's
and it's
Exorcist.
based on a real telling from this guy who was the exorcist for the Vatican.
Wow.
Out of the 1990s, and it just goes through the whole thing. And Russell Crowe's playing that character.
Yeah, see, that stuff is not for me. Like, I've never actually seen The Exorcist because I
the
know
real one?
the real one. I know, like, people talk about the crab walk and her head spinning around. I go, you know what? I don't need that in my life. Just get me Jason Voorhees, like, taking a girl in her sleeping bag and just, like, thumping it against a tree. That's fine.
What's remarkable about The Exorcist is that was made in the 70s and still holds up today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just incredibly scary.
Did you go see that Barbie thing yet?
No.
Okay.
I may go see Haunted Mansion, though.
I want to see that. I know. Dee and I- you and I were talking about it the other day. It's like one of those things I would love to go see because that's one of my favorite rides at Disney.
Same. Do you know the amount of Haunted Mansion stuff I have in my house? Because Halloween. And Hallmark will sell you talking Haunted Mansion ornaments. So I have the hitchhiking ghosts. And they light up and they play the what is it? When grim grinning ghosts come out to socialize. That's the song they play through the Haunted
Yeah.
Mansion. I have that going for Halloween. Like, I am a Haunted Mansion nut.
That little scene, that little part where at the end they're like, one of them will hitchhike with you, and then like you always are like, please don't be on me,
Right.
Like, and then they would have the ghost as like whoever was sitting next to you. And you're like, "Phew, it wasn't me. Okay, I'm good.
No. And Dan Levy's in it. So,
Dan Levy, the,
from
Schitt's
Schitt's
Creek guy?
Yeah. I love him. So I have to
That's-
go see it.
What else was he in? Like back in the day.
He did an MTV show, but
That's not the Bueller guy. What's Dan Levy?
Dan Levy's the kid, not dad.
Oh,
Eugene is
yeah,
the
not
dad.
Eugene is who I
Levy.
was thinking
Yeah.
of. I'm
Oh
like,
no, the
okay.
kid.
All right. No,
Because I think Eugene Levy was SCTV back in the day.
Yes,
yeah,
he was.
And in the American Pie movies and a bunch of
That's what I was
Vacation.
thinking of.
Yeah,
He's the one that
Vacation.
sells you the family truckster.
Yeah, he's one of that guys in movies. You're like, oh, I know that guy. Yeah.
Oh, you know what he is? We were talking about this the other day. He is a zaddy.
A hot dad.
Yes, because after he got coiffed for Schitt's Creek and he's now kept the look, he is a zaddy.
It's so weird because everybody would always comment on how he was unattractive.
Right,
Yeah.
but now he had that glow up. Hardcore.
Who has a glow up at like 60 something?
Eugene Levy.
Good for him.
Because he does. He is dapper.
Speaking of elderly dudes who are dapper, when does that new Bachelor thing that you're excited about come out?
This fall, they don't have a date yet.
What?
I know. Because is anybody watching The Bachelor at the season? No.
The Golden
We're all
Bachelor.
waiting for this guy. We all want to see this. And they still haven't even confirmed what the age range is going to be of the women that they have in the house.
that's
And
gotta have
also,
a- they're gonna
are
have a
they going to
mix.
live in a house? Because you're talking, there's a difference when you're 23. You can take off and go shoot The Bachelor for 3 months. But if you're talking about someone who's maybe in their 50s, they probably have, like, they're solidly into their career. They can't take 3 months off.
Or maybe they're retired. Because isn't this guy supposed to be loaded?
Well, he's 71. Right. Yeah, he's got money.
Yeah.
He
so-
looks 50, but he's 70.
I know, right?
This guy.
I know.
Full head of hair.
That guy.
I was like, hey, I was talking to Carson. I was like, yeah, I don't know, man. I think I want to get hair plugs. Really? I don't still see you doing that. Yeah. And then she's like, yeah, like, of course, everyone, the bald spot is a thing. It really is. It is a thing. I'm just saying. The Garth, when you see his, he had it done, didn't he?
That's the rumor.
No. Can you text him and ask him who
Nope.
did his?
Nope. Sure won't. Sure will not be doing that today.
Can you say D's looking for a referral?
Nope. Nope. You know what? Nope.
Yeah, looking for a solid here, G.
We have a comedian friend that can help you out. I don't want to drop names, but he had it done. Remember, it was like really.
Who's
really,
this?
Can't say.
Can't say, but yeah, the comedian buddy who had the hair
That we talked about it on the air with? Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah, oh my God.
I don't remember talking about it on the air.
Yeah, what's his name?
What is the difference between being in here and, on the air and off? Usually, sometimes somebody will say something ultra.
We talked to him about it. We talked to Reno on the air about it. We called him. We've talked about it on the air about at least 3 times.
Oh my gosh! Now I can't even think of his name.
He's protecting himself by blanking out.
Yes,
I know what you
yes,
mean.
maybe.
But yeah, his looks great.
Tom.
Tom Mabe. Yeah. And I was just, something came up. I said something about hair, and he was like, and he thought I knew. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, I have hair plugs. What? These look great. That's what I want. I want that. He's got like this thing. What if I came in one day and I had like long hair?
I think it'd be great.
A Joe Dirt mullet.
Wouldn't that be?
Should do it.
I think
yeah,
it'd be
dude.
awesome, dude.
Yeah. But the car looks great.
What I liked is that you all sent us a picture of your car tucked into bed. It's got the cover on it and everything.
it's the
You were-
best
You were
feeling.
very proud.
Oh, it's the best feeling.
I'm glad that your son was able to get it in. Was it into or out of
He
the garage?
did, and I did.
Oh.
It was still there when I got there. It was
Okay.
outside the garage.
Okay.
So I was like, I'll take care of it.
Because I know we had thoughts and prayers regarding that if he was going to move the vehicle.
Oh, he and both of them were like, I'm not driving it. Oh, yeah.
Smart.
No, they don't. Mm-mm. Yeah. Gunnar wanted to take it to his prom or whatever dumb
Oh
thing.
no. No.
Can't do that.
And I said, listen, I don't, and I mean it. I don't have a problem with you taking that car on a thing like that to a prom, your senior prom or whatever. I don't. It's a car, and you're going to be careful with it. I get it. And things happen. If something happens, we'll
Other
figure it out.
kids are
Yeah,
stupid.
and we'll
That's
figure it out.
that's my issue.
I
It wouldn't have been him because I know he would have been unbelievably careful.
Careful, yeah.
Other kids are stupid.
I said it, but here's the thing, what you're not thinking about. You're going to drive that car. You guys are going to get all dressed up. She's going to be in her dress and her hair's all done. I said, you're going to show up sweaty and smell like gas and fumes. Does she want to smell like gas and fumes all night? Because there's no way around it. When I drive and I come in, I smell like it. I can smell it down the hallway of my house. When it's in the garage, like I smelled it this morning. Got up and oh, there she is. She hasn't been, she's been at the shop.
So she's a she? I didn't know
God.
that.
Oh,
What?
yeah.
Oh,
What?
of course
What
it's
are you
yeah.
talking about? Why would I have a Chevelle that's a
Who's
dude?
ever had a guy car?
Nobody. I'm sure
Guy
someone
car-
has.
Trucks are dudes.
Yeah, my first car was a Stella. She was named Stella.
Right. They're
Yeah.
always girls.
It's always girls.
It also started with ships are always women's names.
Yep.
That's true too.
But yeah, it's.
Do you
yeah.
know, D, forever now, I will picture every conversation you ever have with Gunnar is you standing there making eggs. you can tell me that you guys were out riding around in the Chevelle, and I'm still going to think you're making eggs in
There
it.
I was making eggs.
that kid?
So I was making eggs.
I must have
yeah.
watched that reel 6 times, even though I was here when we did, like we were talking about it. I'm like, it was so funny.
One of a radio guys sent me a message. He goes, who was that? He's like, God, I forgot now. And was like, hey, man, I'm having hibachi and I'm watching this reel laughing at the table. Yes, Gunnar had got sunburn and his little girlfriend was there putting lotion on his bare chest in the kitchen
Just
while I'm
standing
making
there.
eggs. I'm making eggs, and I'm like, this. It's like I looked around, like, in what world is that okay? I don't find that okay.
It's the front of his chest. It's not like she was doing his back.
He has hands.
I felt the back would have been more appropriate.
The back would have been much more appropriate.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
He
saying.
didn't get burned on the back. He only got
No,
burned
I
on his
know,
chest,
but if that's the thing, I don't think I would have
the
been.
the back, I wouldn't mind.
Exactly, right?
The
Like
chest,
the
and it's
chest
like-
is so creepy. I'm sorry.
And,
no,
and I'm standing there making eggs.
not in front of my salad.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm stirring them up, getting them really good, a little bit of salt. I'm kind of look over. What in God's name?
What style of eggs?
A scrambled egg.
Oh, you're doing scrambled eggs.
I do a French style. It's a low heat, takes a longer time to do it,
No.
but it's better for the egg. It's better.
That's how you should do it.
See, what
That's
I like
every recipe I've seen.
Yeah.
is that he refers to her as his little girlfriend.
It's always
Not
uh,
girlfriend, but little girlfriend.
Well, I mean, there's
She is little.
I was going to say
I mean,
she's
I've
like
met her.
5 foot
I've
tall
met her.
compared
She's
to
not-
him,
yeah.
6'3" or whatever.
I mean, Gunner's 7 feet tall, so I get it. But
Yeah. Anyway, I like her. Everything's fine. It's just that was weird.
except that moment.
Yeah. I was like, isn't there like a whistle? Don't have and there, what am I was like looking for it, and I was like,
But what if you hadn't been making eggs and you just saw that? Did the making eggs make it even more awkward?
it's just part of the joke. It's just part of the joke. That's all. What?
I was trying to deconstruct that, and I
Oh.
was like, no, it's part of the game. That's exactly how that went.
Sorry, man. I didn't mean to pull the old rug out of it.
he was making eggs.
I was just making it.
Everybody have a great weekend. Thank y'all for being a part of this podcast again. Big shout out to everybody making comments like Marianne and Lucretia and Samuel and all them on YouTube. And don't forget, make sure you subscribe and like and all that kind of stuff so you never miss an episode either on YouTube or whatever podcast app you are watching on.
This was the podcast, but now it's over. But that's okay.
Sorry about that,
'cause you
Schaefer.
can
Sorry, I
listen to the
didn't realize
regular
it.
show on the radio every day. It was the podcast.